Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs, Sebastian Envy, strong style nerd, strong style cinephile. Spider-Man, Far From Home. Let's geek about that for a few minutes. Saw it last night, thought it was good. I'd give it a 8 out of 10. Didn't blow me away, but Spider-Man really has never been at that far up at the top of my list of favorite superheroes. We've had a lot of Spider-Man movies thus far, so I'm in the camp of same thing I'm with Batman and Superman, where I'm like, cool, they got a movie, it's a comic book movie, I'll go support that mostly, but I want other characters to get some shine. But that's not the case. Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man is dealing with the fallout from Endgame and the sacrifice that Tony Stark makes, and trying to live up to, Tony. And we finally got some people kind of wondering how, if they were just gonna not deal with the snapping at all, or in this movie they call it the blip, which is just funny to hear him say. But they dealt with in the opening minutes of the movie, they deal with kind of its impact on, I don't want to say the world, because they deal directly with the high school there, and kind of how it affects things. And it also, it affects one of the supporting characters in the movie that adds to some of the subplot, high school shenanigans, romancy, dramedy sort of subplot that they have going on. So I like that they attacked it directly and dealt with it. And there's some lasting consequences to Endgame. I think that's a worry that people had, that there wouldn't be consequences from Endgame, from the fallout. But there is. There's that, and then, like I said, Peter's trying to live up, in his mind, to Tony. And I guess the Avengers aren't exactly around in this, or people don't think that they are. So that was something, whether or not, because at one point Peter was asked if he was going to be like leader of the new Avengers or something or other. So, but Peter is on a vacation with his classmates and trying to get away from superhero life for a bit. He even tries to leave his suit at home with his Aunt May, who's apparently dating Foggy, which was funny. A few funny instances with that. And then his trip gets hijacked by Nick Fury. Nick Fury needs his help to stop these elementals that are attacking, and it was brought to their attention by Mysterio. Of course, I mean, it's not, I don't think, going into spoiler territory to kind of talk about, double cross of Mysterio, because it's Mysterio. Okay, Mysterio is a Spider-Man villain. He's a bad guy. He is doing stuff to kind of make himself look like a good guy, but he's really not. So, that comes. But his reasoning for doing it, I kind of like, and some callbacks to some older MCU movies. I think that was a nice touch with that. So I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was great in the role. The costume was great. The effects were great. For the plot, I've seen some negative thoughts on the plot and where it went. I thought it was pretty basic. It wasn't anything that was going to be any sort of groundbreaking thing, but it was pretty basic. Where Mysterio comes in, tries to be the hero for a greater nefarious purpose, and he executed his plan. He succeeded, and then Spider-Man has to stop him, use his wits to stop him. And it was very much using his wits, not so much just his fist, with stopping him in this movie once they actually started to get going. The effects of Mysterio and his illusions were great. How he used his illusions to really not even lay a hand on Peter to fight him, I thought was interesting in their first kind of big throwdown in it. And Nick Fury had a bigger role. Agent Hill had a bigger role, but it was a good movie. It was a solid movie. 8 out of 10, I think I said. Not the best, far from the worst, of course. It was just a good movie. Like, leave your brain at the door, you'll have a good time with this movie. And it was interesting to see Feige kind of say that this is the end cap of this phase, where I think with some of the questions that it raised and some of the positions that it put itself in, with both of those after the credit scenes, especially the first one. First one was awesome because we finally got something we have been wanting. We finally get something we have been wanting in the MCU, and it's worth it for that. But then the second one and the ramifications of that, I think they kind of played it for comedy, but I'm thinking of the far-reaching aspects of what happens in the second credit scene. I'm not going to spoil that, but you just need to go see it. But just think, long term, based on some of the comics we've read, what that could mean for the MCU if they wanted to go there. I don't think that they will, but it'd be cool if they did. Zendaya, she was good as MJ. This MJ that she's playing, which is not Mary Jane, is Michelle Jones. For the character that they have of her and the kind of awkwardness with her way her and Peter kind of get together, it's cool. It works for this kind of MJ that they're going for. They're not having her be the supermodel who's really out of his league, but he lands her anyway, which gives hopes to nerds, you know, everywhere that they can land, you know, the perfect 10 type of woman, even if they're not exactly a perfect 10 themselves. They're playing a different MJ here, just like they were in the Sam Raimi movies. I think more of a down-to-earth, kind of plainer Mary Jane MJ. But Zendaya's good. She's good, but she's kind of bland. But I guess that's just how they're playing her, you know, in this. How the director is what the story calls for, what the director's calling for, to play her kind of bland. And kind of, she's got personality, but she kind of keeps it kind of like, it's a nonchalant sort of wit, dry wit about her. But anyway, scant few thoughts about Spider-Man Far From Home. It's a good movie. If you're following all the MCU movies, you should check it out. If you like Spider-Man, you should check it out. There's good web-slinging action. Like I said, the way they use Mysterio and his effects. If you're a fan of Mysterio and have been wanting to see him on the big screen for the longest time, you will love him in this, I think. Jake Gyllenhaal, it's great. And once he like kind of unveils his plan, I think it's great, and I think he had fun doing it, and I had fun watching him. So those are some of my thoughts on it. More importantly, what do you guys out there think? Have you seen it? What do you think about the two end credit scenes? The first one especially, because we get what we wanted for the longest time. And then the second one, like I said, the ramifications of the second one and what it could mean for the Marvel Universe going forward, Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. My social media is there. Follow me on there. Talk to me there. Talk to me here. Talk to me about Valaverse action figure Kickstarter. I'll put the link in here. Go check it out. Got a ways to go to meet the goal, but still, I believe in it. I've supported it. I think you should too if you're a collector, customizer, fan of military-themed action figures, G.I. Joe fan. I think you'll love what they're doing over there. So check that out. And I'll be back with more videos. Let's geek.